Ew! Smells like it's time for another Shy Life podcast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Good luck, studio.
Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Oh, there's going to be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
Hello.
It's the quiet ones you've got to watch, you know.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep? Is it deep?
Good boy. He's not all that shy is right.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life podcast.
Hello, Paul.
Excellent. 630.
Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast for Shy Life.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Shy Life podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How are you doing? I'm all right. So what are we up to this time? Well, it's sort of almost Easter, so I thought it was time to get the Chatterbox gang together. So that's what we're going to do. So let's run the theme music, and when we come back, I shall tell you who's here. Well, more than that, we'll actually talk to them. But let's run the theme music. That's what I'm going to do. Just tell them we were here. Then I'm going to blank them all. I'm just going to talk by myself. Yeah.
We're doing this in mime, then?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Darling, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The high life, the shy life.
You won't find a cast of characters like this everywhere.
I'll go anywhere for a potato.
Delicious.
Hello, Captors. How are you? You quite like a big bang, don't you?
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh, he hasn't found out my secret. Yes, he has.
I love the Yeti'S. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps every day.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all gooey and juicy and yum, 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 yum.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to begin.
It's the Shy Life podcast.
I like that. Yeah.
Marvellous, Paul.
Hi there.
Yes, we're back. So who is here for Chatterbox? Well, I'm in the same room as Mr. Nick Goodman. Yeah. So, well, I think that's who it is. You're not wearing it.
Peel off my disguise.
It's not him after all. It's Jack the Ripper. And we've got Martin Holmes.
Hello.
And in another part of the internet. And in another part of the internet,
Country, right?
yeah, we've got Mr. Toppy Smelly.
Hi.
Hello. Our international
star.
Well, we're his international. But, and of course, at time of recording, you're 1 hour closer to us than usual. So.
Yeah, it's that time of year. We've switched.
Yeah, we don't do that for another week or so. Although by the time this episode goes out, we'll all be back to being 5 hours apart again. But but I can almost see you're that close now. So, and our other guests are Lisa and Troby. They are here. Are you here?
I'm here. I have gummy bears.
Oh,
no.
Nice.
I don't know whether there's any ointment I could take.
I got coffee.
Coffee from the pod machine.
Yes. It's like as
podcasting with pod coffee.
I was going to say it's not Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's not made from those sorts of pods. It's not going to somehow become part of me, or I'm going to start looking like a cup of coffee probably. How is everybody? What's going on out there? What's going on in here? Well, I suppose we should start with what you've all been up to. Who should I start with? Martin, what have you been up to?
Oh God! Don't start with me. No, I don't do anything. I've been doing as little as possible for as long as possible. So yes, that's what I've been doing, and a lot of it.
Vision on Sound still visioning on though.
Yes, somehow. Yes, it staggers from week to week somehow in its inimitable way. I've not actually recorded for that for quite some time now, so that's kind of peculiar. But
how long have you been doing it for now?
2.5 years now.
Sure, yeah.
Well, what are we? Episode, was it 128 last week, or 127? So 127 consecutive weeks. There we go.
Ooh, very nice.
And I've been listening to your episodes from the second season of A to Z of the TV drama.
Oh God, are we doing that still? Has that come out yet? I lose track. Andy leaves the country for such large chunks of time that every so often he just gets in touch and says, "Do you want to do another one?" I go, "Yeah. What do you want me to watch?" He goes, "Here, watch all these 47 episodes of this by next Tuesday." And I'm like, yeah, that's happening.
Well, because I noticed you're monthly at the moment, aren't you? And because I seem to be listening to them out of order, and I was quite shocked to see, God, there's like 10 episodes, but it spans 10 months.
Yeah, we are. We went. I think when we first did it, we were two weekly, but no one had the time to do it. So I think we went to monthly, and that seems to work for everybody. Only because it does give everybody a whole month to forget about the nonsense we spoke last month.
Mr. Toppy, you've got 2 podcasts as well, haven't you? At least 2. You've got 2. Haven't you?
Yeah, 2. Yeah, Matinee Minutia. We just did The Paper Chase last night, which is a quiet little movie from '73. That's where John Houseman was Professor Kingsfield, and people might have caught it as a television series a few years later. I think '77 it started.
There kind of no longer is a chain of card shops in the UK called Paper Chase. But Nick and I were watching a film from 1973. We were watching Sleeper, Woody Allen's Sleeper last night.
For years and years and years, I've asked Paul to bring it round. I only just finally remembered. So we watched it last night.
I only noticed because he's mentioned it a couple of times on the podcast. So I was editing and I was like, "Oh right, yes."
It's great for nagging the podcast because
but there's a bit of a delay.
You've asked for years, suddenly come true.
There's 2 months delay. At least it worked. It worked. So.
But no, it was great fun. Great fun.
And did the recording of that go well, Toppy?
Yeah, it went well. And yesterday was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
And so I did make up corned beef and cabbage, but it was a disappointment. I don't know. The cut of meat I got was much tougher than, in the past, and you really needed to cook the hell out of it. And I was making it for my parents, so I thought 8 hours of cooking would be enough. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't enough. So it was a bit of a disappointment. And
I forgoed my St. Patrick's Day special at the pub because Paul came a little bit early so we could spend a bit of time together and I could load up all his latest audio booty. And but we're making up for it tonight because our dude's got a few Irish people coming, our nurse from work and our fellow flat dweller.
Yeah,
I guess this is our St. Patrick's Day and Easter special.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I could actually eat cabbage, potatoes, and carrots and onions in a broth and be very happy. That combo is.
Dear oh dear. I was looking at some things for the Easter part of this episode, and I think it's probably, as a lot of these things are on American websites. I think that in a way the tradition's probably stronger because I don't know. Maybe people keep the traditions from me. I forget that there are traditions because I don't go outside very often. Although I did go because I arrived. I'm at Nick's house and I'm in Salisbury, and I met up with my old school friend Paul, and we went to the cinema, which is only the first time I've been to the cinema since I went to the cinema this time last year to see Scream 5. I saw Scream 6, and we went to the Odeon in Salisbury, which is quite an old building, and I'm trying to think how often I've been there in the last 20 years.
I've seen all pretty well. I think I saw all all the Star Wars films, most of them when they came out at Odeon 1. It's the biggie.
Yeah, so there's a lot of steps to get to it, though. You keep going. It's like sort of you go round a corner. Oh, more steps. Oh, more steps.
Yeah, they like to build it up a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, it was nice to go back there because that's the first cinema I ever really remember as a kid. Well, more as a mid to late teenage before I went to university from about the age of 15 or 16. Once I was allowed to go to the cinema by myself, I went quite a lot. But that's the cinema that I went to see Dead Poets Society in about 5 times or something. I used to have this habit of going to see a film and liking it and then kind of saying to different friends, "Oh, do you want to go and see that film?" And so I could go and see it again.
Them were the days where you could actually buy a ticket and you could stay all day. You know, I think Andy Ching's did that a few times. He actually, you're able to get in and they don't chuck you out. You can just spend the whole day there.
Well, the price of the ticket on Thursday was, I would have said that's West End London prices. It was £15. Just you can buy the DVD twice if you wait about 3 weeks for that much. But I thought £15 is expensive in London. I mean, goodness knows, maybe it's more like £20 or £35 in London these days. I'm not sure.
Although it seems like Scream, you would probably benefit from watching with an audience.
Well, I'd say yes, except there was only about 10 of us in the whole cinema, so it didn't feel much like there was a crowd. But yeah, theoretically, I don't know. I don't think there was many more people when we saw Screen 5 either. But I mean, on the other hand, you hear that it's done really well at the box office. So I don't know which box offices, but not necessarily in Salisbury box office. But the Smellcast, of course, is still going strong, of course.
Yeah, although it's been a while since an episode got out, I just started several and haven't finished any of them. One of these days I'll have a new episode.
Oh, but although I believe Ick has been helping your gang. Well, he was helping Sassy, wasn't he? They seem to have. They seem to have reached a sort of impasse. They still kind of are rude to each other, but they seem to respect one another.
I think so. Yeah, it's gotten better. It's not quite such a rivalry anymore.
Yeah, it calls Sassy Stinky, and Sassy. What does Sassy call?
Oh, well, Sassy just says slime ball.
Oh yes, of course, yes. It's a love that dare not speak its name. But Toby and Lisa, I believe. Well, of course, there's been 2 In Conversation episodes recently of Around the Archives on YouTube and in podcast form. Is that correct? Is this the beginning of a new video era?
Well, we've got this new video camera that we've had for a while. But it's only since the installation of my new teeth that I felt brave enough to appear on video again. So we did one with Warren on the sofa talking about Doctor Who VHS releases over the years. And our most recent one is with Mr. Nick Goodman.
Yes, I very much enjoyed doing it as well.
Who talked about tape and taping and his relationship with tape over the years. That sounds rude, doesn't
playing
it?
with next Basil Brush.
Indeed.
It was a fascinating
the lady
episode.
I was talking about actually posted underneath that. I think she'd watched it all and said, unfortunately, Basil Brush is long gone.
If anyone hasn't caught it, the video is fascinating footage of Nick wrapping presents and taping them. And it was really quite.
That's on my. I think that must be one of the Christmas ones. Yes, we have a tradition I think because we always used to take Christmas when our parents were alive, but we still kind of video each other opening presents and things. But yeah, but no, it was lovely, and it was a lovely day too.
We got some nice feedback on both of those things actually, and of course since that was recorded, Nick has now inundated us with with files of all our tapes, which he's digitized. So
yeah, that's been a joy as well.
We got to see our sort of holiday footage from York and the Isle of Wight, which was very nice. We hadn't seen that in like about 20 years, so
it
was really nice to get back. So all of that's gone up on YouTube as well now. So yeah, we
is it Pickle the kitten?
That's right, yeah.
I did briefly think, I wonder if that's Rose and Martha as a little baby. But if it was before Rose and Martha's time.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of Lisa's dad there, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah. Just a little bit. So that was nice to have that. But yeah, so those have come out, and we've started work on our next episode around the archives. So we've. For once, we're actually ahead of everybody else.
Yes.
Because we've recorded our thing.
Yeah. I'm going to do you a Dr. Snuggles, aren't I?
Oh, that's right, yes. But yeah,
I'd like to sort of bring the episode down and show it to you and see if we can sort of have a little chat again.
Yeah, well, why not? Yeah. That's a good idea.
I shall be, of course, returning the tapes to you.
Oh,
Muffley and I are going to do an article together, and that'll be Muffley's debut on Round the Archives. He's currently on a mission in Dubai at the moment, so once he gets back from that, we'll activate the recording session, and also we have. Apologies from Warren today, who is also on a top secret mission, but let's just say he's off world. So, he's doing what Warren does best up somewhere up space. I think I'm sure Ike's involved, but anyway, we can't mention it at the moment. But he'll be on the show soon, though, because we have things in the can. So, but. Yes. Oh, and of course, Treby, you've been using your camera for computer game playing as well, haven't you? You've been.
Oh yes, I've managed to connect up my webcam to my Twitch streaming now, so you got to see me in my resplendent in my my purple waistcoat yesterday.
Yeah.
So we got our highest viewing figures for that of 6 people. 6 people were watching my waistcoat at one point.
I should be wearing a purple waistcoat tonight.
Careful, you might end up streaming on Twitch.
Long time, but I probably won't look as resplendent though.
You might be mistaken for a Fortnite player if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So let me see. I believe Cromitty is coming in with some drinks in a minute. I think Ashley's coming in now. This is marked on my thing as the science section of this episode, but so I'm not quite sure what the drinks are. Cromitty, well, what are the drinks? Well, I have this new drink that I found in the kitchen. It's called Piranha Solution, and I shall just hand it round. And sorry,
Cromitty, are you sure about this?
What's that?
Piranha Solution.
I thought it was the new in drink. Thought it was what all the kids were drinking. The Piranha Solution.
I really, really, really wouldn't advise it.
Oh.
Do you know what it? Do you know what it contains?
I just thought it was like the Sunny D or something. Like.
Well, it would help if we knew what the piranha problem was.
I don't know. It was just written on the can. Piranha Solution. I thought it was the new.
What piranha's problem?
What is it not for drinking? Then have I got the wrong thing? What Mr. T, tell us.
Well, if you go on to I think it's Nottingham University's chemistry department.
Yes.
They demonstrate what Piranha Solution actually does to things.
Oh.
And what it does to things is that it basically dissolves them completely.
Oh.
because it's made of hydrogen peroxide and sulfuric acid.
So don't drink.
So don't drink it.
Oh, this was a close thing then.
Yeah, you can have this back.
I thought it was a kind of fizzy wine. I didn't realise. Maybe I'll just go and make some tea instead. It would probably be safer.
Yes, if you put like some of my gummy bears in it, for instance, it'll completely destroy them. Or if you stick a leg of chicken in it, it'll dissolve basically. So
you know what? Cromedy, I think I'll take mine home with me and put it on that corned beef that I had.
I have made a mistake. I think this could be a late April Fool.
Well, I was going to say, where the hell did it come from then? If you found it lying about, who's been making piranha solution?
I don't know. I just thought it was the new in drink, because I hear about the kids that people are paying like £20 for this sort of energy drink for their kids for their birthdays, and I just presumed this must be it. But
piranha solution would give you a lack of energy. I think it wouldn't give you energy.
Maybe it's a way of getting rid of the kids. Yeah. Too many kids. I don't know. I'm a scientist. I should have known this thing. Perhaps we don't call it piranha solution. Where
I'll send you the link to the Nottingham University video comedy. But you really shouldn't hand around liquids if you don't know what they are.
I just thought it was. I think someone has been playing a nasty trick on me. It's a good thing nobody got to drink it. Yes, Uncle John, keep your hands off.
I'd get rid of that as soon as possible.
Don't drink. It's not for drinking. We'll have to find out. Somebody has left a nasty trick for us. Sorry, there might be somebody around here that keep your eyes out. The controller might be lurking. I'm not sure. I apologize. I'll go and sort this out and make the tea. How do we all take our teas? Not with piranha solution, I know. How would you take yours? Or would you like coffee? What would you like, Toppy? How would you take your?
Me? Tea? Just tea. I don't do that. Pour the milk and pour the tea. It's just tea, no sugar.
Okay. And Mr. T, Miss Lisa?
Well, I like my tea the way I like my podcasts. Milky with 2 sugars.
Right. Just milk and I'll add a sweetener to it later.
You've got a special pill to add, haven't you? Lisa's on the pill, aren't you?
Martin, how do you take your tea?
No sugar for me, thank you.
And Nick?
I've just had a coffee, thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good, John. Keep your hands off that. We'll have to sort this out later. Do I still get to do more bit? Yes, later. So Nick, actually, talking at Nick's party later, I was going to look at some foods and ask.
I think you're supposed to eat it.
Well, I have a dinner ideas generator that you are familiar with, and so this is a random selection of foods which might be appearing at this well, not at Nick's real party, but imagine we're having a Charlotte podcast party. Okay. I'd like you to tell me, everybody, which of these foods would appeal to you, and would you like to be included in the party? So we have Greek couscous salad. We have a rather strange looking cheesy Brussels sprouts bake. We have fried chicken burger. We have Moroccan cauliflower rice. We have couscous salad again. We have spinach soup with mint.
Will we be able to remember all these?
Well, I shall remind you. You just link on to something that you like the sound of. Rice vermicelli soup. I don't think that works very well at a party. Buttery garlic steamed clams. Turkey veggie meatloaf cups. Or spicy fried fish balls. Do any of these things appeal?
I didn't know fish had balls.
Yes. I didn't know they.
All joking apart, that last one didn't sound too bad. No, broccoli, rice. I mean, I'm a great fan of rice, so yeah, I didn't. Moroccan broccoli.
Yes. I must admit. I mean, I've never heard of cheesy Brussels. I like Brussels sprouts. It looks like a quiche with Brussels sprouts sticking out the top. I've never heard of such a thing.
It's likely an American dish. In America, the way we cook is it doesn't matter what you cook, you just throw cheese on it, and then and then it's cheese something.
And I'm not sure that as nice as a chicken burger might be, it's not really party food. But
I don't know, the one that I'll take the cups because it sounds like it was like meatloaf in a cup. And that sounds easy to eat at a party.
It looks like a sort of it does look like a sort of flat meatball or something. I don't know why. The cup bit. I don't know what. There's no cups involved, but
okay.
Well, I mean, I can't see any cups. I don't know why they're called cups, but yes, it's sort of like mini meatloafs, I suppose. But I suppose it's turkey and vegetable. Meatloaf.
Well, maybe it's meatloaf finger food.
Is there anything there that appeal? I don't think we can eat clams at a party. That doesn't sound very sexual.
I distrust clams.
Okay.
Too exotic.
I thought you were going to say you'd been given false information by them.
Well, I'm just thinking of the giant clams from Genesis.
So was I.
Yeah. I mean, I'm torn between the fish or the chicken. Chicken balls, as I said, joking aside, might be. Sorry, chicken balls. No, fish balls might be interesting. But can I tell my Brussels sprout story?
Please do.
When I went to school on the first day, I was 5, and you had to sort of say your name in class as to who you were. And there was a boy there who had a first name that I'd never heard before because I hadn't met many children because I was 5. And the chap said his name was Russell, and I'd never heard the name Russell. So when I got home, my parents asked me, well, who were the children at school? What were their names? And I said, there's a boy at school called Brussels Sprouts. Because I'd heard of Brussels sprouts, but I'd never heard of the name Russell as an actual name. So
similarly, my dad was hated Brussels sprouts, and when he was a boy, he used to hide them in his train set. Rather than how he got them out again, I don't know. But
do any of those dishes appeal to you, Martin? Or if not, what would your ideal?
I suspect when it comes to parties, I've already left before the food arrives. To be honest, in fact, I wouldn't have even turned up in the first place. That's my approach to parties.
But you could have a party by yourself. What would you choose?
No, actually, no. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've attended a party or since Millennium Night. Actually, yes, it's 23 years. Good Lord.
So, what if you were having a meal? What's your favourite meal? Like, if you're going to have a meal, what's your ideal meal? Or even if you were at home, just
my ideal. Oh dear. I don't know. I tell you what. Recently, I've really enjoyed making soups. I enjoy making soups. We've been getting fresh vegetable boxes delivered. Ever since the what was it? The lockdowns, the pandemic. That's the word that's not coming to mind today. Ever since the pandemic, which, funnily enough, it's about 3 years ago since it started, the first lockdown here. Which has made me think when you were talking earlier, this was the last time I went to the cinema was 3 years ago. But we've started having these veg boxes because we thought, well, at least if nothing else, we can get some food delivered. Because at that time, all the supermarket slots, there wasn't much in the way of home delivery going on. So I've started doing soups. I've really got into making borscht with beetroot. Beetroot soup is an astonishing revelation to me. And recently, Jerusalem artichokes soups has become a thing I do. It's not necessarily my favourite food. I mean, my favourite food, I've got to be honest, if we ever go out to restaurants, which is about once in a blue moon now, but when we do, I look at the whole menu every single time and I think, oh, there's lots of lovely things on here. And then I always order the steak.
Yeah.
Because I think, well, how many times do I get the chance?
You know, I'm that way too.
Yeah, I think I'm out. I'm enjoying myself. I don't want to get something I don't like. Yeah. So I just order. I tend to go, I know I like that. I'll have the steak. So there we go.
I had before I went to see Scream 6, we went to a restaurant in Salisbury and I chose the Philly cheese steak sandwich. I don't know how authentic it was. I didn't really notice the cheese in it. I don't know.
Then there was some mistake.
See, this is the thing I don't get about American sandwiches anyway. I ordered a turkey sandwich in America. A vast thing arrived the size of a small submarine, you know. But the thing was, it wasn't a turkey sandwich. It was a turkey and ham and bacon and avocado and mayonnaise and cheese. Yeah, there was cheese in there. It's like everything. It's like it was not every ingredient in the world sandwich, basically. But claiming to be a turkey sandwich. Had I asked for a ham sandwich, I suspect I would have got exactly the same sandwich.
One wonders, yeah. Again, something was wrong there. Yeah.
I mean, it probably tasted slightly more turkey-ish, you know, but.
I forget what the name of that sandwich is, which is a kind of corned beef sandwich or
a Reuben.
Reuben, yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love those.
I love those. I had at least one or two of those when I was in Portland, and that was very much
strangely fond of the corned beef even now. I know some people look at it now and think, well, yeah, corned beef, but I'm really quite fond of the corned beef.
Me too.
Yeah,
when it comes out right.
Well, there's that.
I often find when I was in America, I often found that the hash browns in America are quite different to the hash browns over here. They tend to be more. Yeah, that's right. No, they tend to be more compacted over here, whereas they tend to be more
fluffy.
Or how would you describe?
They haven't spent 6 months in a container to get here. That's
probably. Yeah, they're more sort of economically packaged so that they can be placed on a plate with, rather than being the sort of wild and ranging hash browns that I've experienced in America, where they're kind of escaping in different directions and they're allowed to roam free on the plate.
I was going to say, Lisa, you probably last had a hash brown at a Doctor Who convention, was it?
A hash brown?
Yeah.
No, I've had hash browns here.
I just remember you ordering them at breakfast occasionally, you know, when you
normally you just go and help yourself.
Well, I was going to say, you can just select what you want. And
depends. And I mean, you know, depending if you've got sort of somebody famous or not in front of you.
Yeah.
Depends what you get, really, and how many times you go up to get it.
Well, you're implying that all the stars nick all the good stuff first.
I'm just saying you don't want to make yourself look a pig in front of, like, Tom Baker or whatever, do you? So.
Tell you what surprised me, because you mentioned hash brown. Hash browns to me is part of the full English breakfast, yeah, nowadays. Mm-hmm. Yeah, would you say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to, the idea of black pudding used to bother me. And then we went to a quite posh restaurant, you know, where they do those sample menus a few years ago. And they did scallops and black pudding together. And it was a revelation. Because I've spent my entire life thinking, well, this is going to be awful. And it's an amazing flavour. So the black pudding has become a new favourite.
Now, when you say black pudding, this is
blood
what
pudding,
I think of.
Yeah.
Oh, it is blood pudding.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, it's and of course the idea of it is quite revolting.
Yeah,
I mean, many years ago I went to Ireland and got off the ferry and you go to the first cafe you see because it's breakfast time, and they did black pudding and white pudding. Now I've never taken to the white pudding, but black pudding, and I thought, no, I'll have the bacon and egg, you know, I'll be fine. And I was looking at these people eating black pudding and they seemed to be enjoying it, and I just thought, no, horror. But because I had it in this other context. But I had that for a long time with things like pizza. When my mates used to go to eateries after we'd been to the pub back in the day, I'd always have a burger. I'd always have I'd always go for the pie and chips or something, and they'd have pizza, and I'd go, oh no, that looks horrible and stringy and rubbery, and it looked like Play-Doh to me. And I didn't touch pizza for a long time. Then I went, strangely enough, in the days when I did go to parties, I went to a party and someone had put these pizza slices out, and I just was thinking, they look nice. Had a nibble. So what's this? And they went, it's pizza. And I went, oh, I don't like pizza. Sorry, there's very strange food habits I have.
We're going to talk about some Easter facts in a minute, but I thought we'd dip back into. Well, we'll start by this is our flashback section of the Shy Life podcast. We're going to start with a flashback to an Easter episode that we released back in 2018. It was episode 158, Shy Yeti's Easter Hangover. I think we were eating alien chocolate that it brought along, which is quite different to most chocolate. So we'll listen to a clip from that. But then when we come back, I'll get the team to randomly select a couple more clips before we head on to some facts. But so anyway, let's listen to Shy Yeti's Easter Hangover, or at least a clip from it. Ick, what do you think of chocolate?
Oh, I've not tried any yet. I've been holding this piece in my hand for the last 20 minutes. Okay, let me have some. Okay. This is delicious, Paul. I like your chocolate. Very nice.
Well, you have to thank Cromitty. He's the one who brought it.
Thank you, Cromitty. Very tasty.
It's my pleasure. Yes, yes. It is good. It's good, expensive chocolate.
How come you got it?
Well, I did a favour for an old friend of mine. He's actually a ghost, and well, you see, ghosts can't eat chocolate, but well, he works somewhere where they actually make chocolate, and well, the people he works with do not know that he is dead, and well, it means that he often gets given gifts of chocolate, but he cannot actually eat them, so he tends to send them over to me. Right. Interesting. Huh. Well, you did ask, Ick.
Yes, gosh. I quite like that this is the chocolate of a ghost.
At least it's not ghost chocolate. It does exist. Oh, well, that would be a shame, wouldn't it? Yes, it would be a shame to eat chocolate that didn't actually exist. Yeah. So, what about this delicacy, this alien stuff? What? Oh, is that it?
Yes, it is, Uncle John. It's a bit like chocolate.
Yes. Yeah, I guess it is. What do we do? Do we drink it or eat it?
Just put it in your mouth and see what happens.
It looks very interesting. Is it? It seems to be moving. Is it vegetarian?
Not exactly.
Is it a creature?
Not exactly.
It's very curious. Let me have some. Oh, yes. Oh, it's a very strange flavour. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Golly, how strange.
I'll have some as well.
Hey, Martin, don't take quite as big a piece as that.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yes. Oh, gosh. How odd.
Golly. Well, let me take a piece. Gosh, it's a bit hard on the teeth. Oh no, it's not. It's actually like sort of liquid. It's gosh. Let me. Oh, thank you. I'll have that last piece. Yes.
Well, I hope you like it. It's supposed to make you very aware of your surroundings, and you may find that you are transported to another world Perhaps you should sit down.
Yeah. Oh, you should have warned us about this. Oh, blimey. Gosh. I feel quite dizzy. He's definitely sitting down. Well, we're outer space delicacies all like this. Oh, I think I could get to lightning. Gosh, is not very much like chocolate, but I can see through time. I can see through time. What about you, Martin?
It smells great. I can smell everything. I can smell the inside of my head.
Oh, yes. Golly, I didn't realise it was going to be quite so potent for you. You humans, you're such wusses. Oh dear, listeners. Well, I think, golly, these lot aren't going to be much company for the rest of the afternoon. Oh dear.
Wow, man. Wow. Golly, now I can see everything.
I'm sniffing. Oh, I'm sniffing through time.
Oh, yes. Outer space roll. Outer space roll. Outer space rules.
Oh, you guys.
Right, okie dokie. So we're going to do a random clip selection. So let me see. Martin, could you choose a year between 2016 and 2023?
Oh, I could, I'm sure, yes. I was just going to ask you a quick question. Are you still allowed to call it Easter these days? I believe that certain sections of society believe that these things are no longer being used. But I think we do. I mean, what do you call those chocolate eggs that you have at Easter?
Well, Easter egg.
Precisely. Thank you very much.
I've already had one Easter egg this year.
You have, yeah.
I finished it an hour ago.
You're really giving those teeth a really good tryout, aren't you?
I've got the excuse now.
You'll wear it out, man. You'll wear it out.
15 years, he guaranteed me. 15 years. So.
Or see me out, that will.
Yeah, that's basically what I said. When he finished, I said, these teeth will last me out, won't they? He said, I'm not sure.
Take them out before they cremate me, because otherwise I'll explode. Moving on, how about 2019 when we were all in lovely lockdown? Yes, 2019.
Okay, and Lisa, would you choose a month?
July.
Okay.
It's like Kreskin, this, isn't it? He knows the answer already.
And
I sent you a Kreskin.
You did.
Did you see? Yes.
And Toby,
yes.
Tell us like a part of the month, beginning, middle, or end.
The beginning. The beginning. Back to your beginnings.
Well, the first episode of July was released on July the 3rd, 2019. It was Shy Yeti's Big Cornish Adventure. And I believe this must be when we went to...
Have you been to Charlestown?
I don't think so.
It's just I happened to switch on a random telly last week, and it was villages by the coast, or villages that are near the coast, and it was Charlestown. I've been there. And it's so rare that anything like that actually pops up that I've actually been to a place, especially on the south coast. It's I've actually been to this. Sorry, and I remember I was telling Philip it was a wonderful house that I thought was really nice. I thought, yeah, that's never been sold in 3 generations, has it?
Oh yes, we went to Penzance. We went to St Michael's and St Ives. We stayed in this landmark trust house in Penzance, which was, I think it's called the Egyptian House. It looks really sort of, it's almost a tourist attraction in itself. The people walking past can't enter it unless you're staying there. But we did find when we looked out the window that people were stopping and taking photos of the house. It's got sort of Egyptian things on the front of the all the way up. It's about 3 stories high, and it sort of looks very intricate from outside. But the The worst thing was that it was a very sort of small, spindly staircase to get to. I think we were on the second floor. I don't think we were the top flat, but it wasn't easy getting up there with a suitcase. It was a little hair raising.
As he was going to St. Ives.
Yes, yeah.
I must admit, I've never actually been to Cornwall.
No, I've been to Devon. I've never been to Cornwall.
Devon's as far as I've gone on that journey.
Yeah.
I've been to Swansea, but I've never been to Cornwall.
I like that. It's been to Swansea. That's not Cornwall, is it? That's Wales.
I know, but it's up and to the right, left.
He's been to paradise, but he's never been to me.
Yeah.
No, the furthest you've been is York, isn't it?
Scarborough.
Oh, Scarborough. Sorry. Yeah, we went to Scarborough for a day.
Furthest north I've been is Scarborough.
Yeah, because we asked the owner of the hotel we were staying in what he advised, and he advised us to go to the posh bit of Scarborough, so we went to the rough bit of Scarborough.
We went to the rough bit of Scarborough
where the
for a bit of
amusements
rough.
were, so. And a TARDIS.
Down by the docks.
Down by the sea.
Yeah.
So.
Where a good living can be earned.
Not by me.
We'll listen to a quick clip from episode 264, Shy Yeti's Big Cornish Adventure. Hi listeners, I'm 3/4 of the way up St Michael's Mount. Yes, I managed it, even though it's not only is it quite steep, but underfoot it's all rocks and boulders, and there's lots of other people who are walking unsteadily up it as well, so you're having to avoid them. But yes, I've done pretty well to get this high. I've got a lovely view across the bay. We walked across the jetty before the tide came over, and I think the sea has now claimed it for a while, so I think we'll have to come back by boat, which is fine, which is good. Anyway, I'm just letting you know that I'm almost at the top. More in a bit. There was surprisingly a large amount of people up here, mainly German tourists, but except for all the people, it is quite relaxing, and there's a nice view across the bay to Penzance, and yeah. We're in the house now. Oh dear, noisy. We're in the house or the castle or whatever this is now. It's so nice, but we're also very pleased at how many seats there are to sit on. There's loads of them, nice soft ones, and anyway. I think we're about to go out onto a viewpoint, so I'll stop recording because I don't think you really want to hear all of the gusts of wind that are waiting for me. More in a minute. Hi listeners, we're in the gardens at St Michael's Mount. I've decided I'm not going any further after that really long walk up and back. It's the gardens are on a similar sort of hillside. They look very nice. I'm sure I could get lots of nice photos, but it's enough. It's enough for one day. I think Yeti's legs can't take it anymore. But I've sent Toby on, and he's quite knackered as well. But he's going to go on and take a few more photos. And yeah, I'm just looking out at the sea, enjoying the sun. Probably going to get a drink in a minute. We've I don't think I've said, but we returned to base camp. We came down the hill, which was actually not as tiring to come down, but you really had to watch your footing. Goodness knows how people get up and down there if it's been even slightly wet, because the cobble was up there. So in some places it's not even really a proper path, it's more like climbing over some rocks. Yeah, goodness knows how you'd do that if it had been even slightly wet, or if it was wet when you were there. But anyway, I'm not sure how well this is going to be coming out because there is some blusteriness on this cliff top. But anyway, I'll speak to you again in a bit. We've got to get a boat. I was hoping for an ice cream, but Toby didn't take up my offer. There's one more opportunity to get an ice cream, so I'm hoping we'll still get one, especially as we haven't had any lunch. Anyway, more in a bit. Yeah, this is 20 festive Easter facts that you probably haven't heard before. That's a challenge in itself. This is quite a mixed sort of... The facts I was looking at, it does sort of accept that it is a Christian holiday, but it sort of accepts that it's also a pagan holiday which existed a long time before the Christian holiday. So,
nabbed again.
Yeah. Easter baskets have special symbolism. The woven treat containers represent birds' nests and new life, especially when filled to the brim with eggs. But which actually reminds me that it was only quite recently that some of the two of Yeti Uncle John's magpies had a I don't think it's a litter, is it? What do you call it when it's magpies? Six little eggs they had.
Jenny Hanley.
And apparently you're supposed to eat ham at Easter.
Really?
But I don't know.
I thought it was Good Friday fish, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. It says historically most early Easter celebrants would have eaten lamb for this special occasion, since the holiday has its roots in Jewish Passover. But these days, many American Easter diners now feature ham instead because of the timing of the holiday.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Apparently, Easter lilies are a relatively new tradition. I don't think I knew that lilies had any association with Easter at all.
Yeah,
it's to do with Japan. These beautiful blooms first originated in Japan and arrived in England in the late 18th century. And apparently that also caught on in the US after World War One.
They're associated with death, aren't they? That's the thing.
Lilies.
Yeah, I think.
I like a lily. I like a longiflorum.
Yeah, I think you have to be careful with lilies and cats. So don't tend to see them in our.
Yeah, lily pollen is very bad for cats.
Yeah, so if you can have lilies and you've got cats, cut the stem off and wash your hands.
Apparently, Easter clothes used to be considered good luck.
Easter clothes?
Again, what are Easter clothes?
I've been given clothes at Easter.
I thought you said clones.
No, well,
Easter clothes.
Wait a minute. I'm still trying to figure out what he said.
Well,
was it clothes?
Easter clothes. I don't know what Easter clothes would be.
What, that you wear? That you wear, you mean?
Or that you're given, maybe.
A long tradition of what they call an Easter parade, which is on Sunday morning. You go to church, but you're dressed in your very, 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 very finest. And the women would wear bonnets because, well, they had to, and men wore hats. But it was a big thing to have a very nice Easter bonnet that you would wear only for that day. And the Easter bonnet was
like, do you, Judy Garland? Go on, you know you want to.
In my Easter
bonnet.
I think to a certain extent, because I'm not.
Did we do a bonnety song once upon a time?
Yes, we did. You drew us with me wearing an Easter bonnet, didn't you, Martin? Once.
Because you watched Liberace singing that song about 10-20 times to get the rhythm.
To be able to reconstruct it, yes.
Yeah. It's very exciting, especially the bit when his mother comes on.
Bonnet, we were singing, weren't we? Yes.
Yeah.
I think to a certain extent, whereas with Christmas, it's you can't really escape Christmas. I think it's a lot easier to forget what, if you're not a churchgoer, to forget what the traditions of Easter are, because
it pounces on you, though, doesn't it? That's the thing. They move it around so you can't be ready.
Well, yes, that's another thing. It's not on a certain time. You can almost forget. Oh, it's Easter next week, and then it's gone again. And
last year it was in March. Where is it now?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, 3 years ago, April Fool's Day and Easter were the same day.
Yeah.
I think it's Good Friday this year, April the 1st, isn't it?
No, it's the 8th.
That's the week after.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, the 8th of April, no, 7th of April, 8th of April, 9th of April.
Yeah.
I know that because I had to book Easter Sunday off, so...
I always have a very busy Easter.
Because it's big in the Christian world, but also big in the pagan world, because scholars believe that Easter was named after a festival celebrating Eostra and the coming of spring. Her sacred symbols are thought to have been the hare and the egg, which is why they feature prominently in Easter symbolism too. So.
Well, one Easter I went to Glastonbury and I came home with a monk's egg, didn't I?
We went to Glastonbury.
Yeah. Monk's head.
A monk's egg.
Oh, right.
Yeah, a monk gave me a little egg.
I thought you meant you'd had the back of your head shaved.
No, they had
an Easter egg hunt.
Easter egg hunt, and you found a thing. Was he just coming back from his lunch?
I think the monk was on his lunch break.
Yeah.
I didn't know monks had lunch breaks, but I had to wait for him to come back from lunch,
Yeah.
and then he gave me the tiniest egg you can imagine.
Yes.
I did wonder whether it would hatch into a very small monk, but it didn't. No.
It was chocolate. So
it was a chocolate egg.
Yes.
One of our consultants at work, one of our plastic surgeons, went to Glastonbury and came back with his hair in cornrows. He was a bit like Peter Capaldi. So if you can imagine Peter's big grey hair in cornrows.
Apparently, Good Friday is recognised as a holiday in only 12 states in America, including New Jersey, North Carolina, and Tennessee. We definitely, in the UK, recognise Good Friday. But is it not? Is it a bit like a Boxing Day in America, where it's not really an official holiday in that many?
Well, I mean, if you mean by holiday that you don't have to go to work that day, and it's a holiday from work, I mean, I guess it's true in those states. I'm in New York State, and I've never had Good Friday off.
Whereas we generally do over here.
I don't.
You don't, do you,
I've got to
Lisa?
work it, yeah.
Yeah, you got to work it.
So.
We even used to work half day on Maundy Thursday, so I'd usually try and... That's when I first started going to Richmond Park, because I would think, well, I've come all the way into work and spent the money to come into London to work for half a day. I want to do something on my way, in the afternoon to have made it worthwhile coming in all that way. And I used to go and galump around Richmond Park in the afternoon. But
Galump.
Yes.
That's Harump's older brother.
That's what Yeti'S do. Apparently, in 2020, 77% of American adults celebrated the Easter holiday. I don't know how do they work that out.
They're the ones that wore Easter clothes.
In America, they refer to Halloween as a holiday. Is it a holiday?
Well, it's not a holiday in so much as you get the day off. I don't think any state you have, but it is called a holiday. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely...
Because I mean, the holiday comes from holy day, doesn't it? I mean, that's theoretically that's the etymology of it. So you kind of think it's almost like the anti-holiday.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's just interesting. I always wondered because it gets talked about as being the Halloween holiday, and I just wondered whether it was a day off generally.
No, never. It's never not in any state. But yeah, I mean, we do still sort of think of it as like a holiday.
Well, those costumes don't make themselves, do they? That's the thing.
That's right. But I mean, I blame all of you on that island you live on, and then the next island up or wherever it is for that whole Halloween thing. I mean, really.
I blame us for that as well.
Yeah,
I blame us for most things though these days.
but I don't think that, having listened to Big Fatty online, and where Halloween, he talks about how many houses in the area have decorated for Halloween, and you guys definitely go for it a lot more than... I don't think you see many houses. You might see an odd pumpkin sitting on a step, but people don't decorate that much. I mean, it's like the Christmas I think some people do perhaps decorate their houses more the outside of their houses more. Yeah. But I was only really aware of that because I had to take a taxi to a hospital on just before Christmas Eve, and it was only when I was in the taxi after dark that driving on the streets I realised, actually there may not be anybody in my street, but on the way to between my house and the hospital, all I could see was like coloured lights bobbling.
We kind of, because it's All Hallows Eve, isn't it, Halloween? And in church we have the very next day we have All Souls Day, where the rector recites a long list of local peoples that have died. And I'm increasingly getting to be the only old person old enough to remember a lot of them. But that's interesting because the two actually do complement each other.
In America, Easter and Halloween compete for the highest candy sales.
Ah. Yeah, definitely. That's most of the last 50, 70 years, it's all been the candy companies just pushing it.
I think when it got to the stage where you could buy things like Cadbury's cream eggs all year round, it stopped being a novelty because you could just buy them anytime. I think it was much better when they were only available, for a couple of weeks beforehand, and everyone rushed to buy them. And now I'm not really. I know
where you're coming from, but I do like their availability. I must admit, I'm very partial to a Cadbury's cream egg. So.
I used to when I was much younger, but if I ate one today, I'd just die. I know it, so I don't. I don't try. I don't even know.
My interest in sweet things is less than it used to be.
It's still there, though.
But I also go into a shop and think £1.50 for a Mars bar. No, you're kidding. I mean, sometimes when you're in supermarkets and I think it depends where you go. But some places that sell chocolate bars know they've got a captive market and they price it up about 3 times the price of what you might pay in a supermarket for a multi-pack. And not only that, but they've got all these chocolate bars we used to eat.
I hear
they've messed with the mix as well, haven't they?
Yeah, the price of chocolate here has gone crazy, along with everything else.
I had a Mars bar. I don't know whether they have Milky Ways in America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had a Mars bar the other day, and it just tasted like I don't think they must have changed the ratio of nougat and chocolate and everything, because it just tasted. The Mars bar I had the other day just tasted like a Milky Way, which I never really liked Milky Ways that much. I preferred a Mars bar, but now they just tasted as sweet.
They're pleasant, but they haven't got a lot to say, have they? They're just one sweetness. They're just. Oh right, was that it?
Half the time
they messed with the cream egg formula anyway, didn't they, a few years ago? So it's not the same as it was.
Put solution in it.
No, I hope not.
No, it's the chocolate.
There'd be nothing left.
The chocolate recipe, when Cadbury's got taken over, it did get changed, and quite a lot of complaints on that score. Personally, I like a Mars bar cold from the fridge sliced, but there you go.
Apparently, the idea of the Easter Bunny delivering candy and eggs originated in Germany during the Middle Ages, with the first written mention of this tradition dating back to the 16th century. Dutch settlers in Pennsylvania brought the bunny to the United States in the 1700s, and the rest is delicious history. I didn't realise that Easter bunnies went back that far.
I didn't either.
I can imagine Snoopy being the Easter bunny. I seem to have in my head that there's a Peanuts cartoon where Snoopy plays the Easter bunny.
Charlie Brown goes on about the Easter bunny. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It's Easter Beagle. Easter Beagle.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, the Easter Beagle. Yes.
Toppy, tell us what a peep is. A peep.
Oh, okay. Well, sure. It's an old, confection, I guess, that became super popular, and it's just a marshmallow in the shape of a little chick, a little like a baby chick, and then it's coated with this yellow sugar, and they're horrid. They're just awful. And you can buy boxes of them, and they come out every year this time of year. Although now, naturally, you can get Peeps that are like Santa, you can get Peeps that are like ghosts, and and they're a version of it is available all year round now.
Apparently, Americans eat 1.5 million Peeps during Easter.
Yeah, that's their problem. I mean, they're hot. The best thing you can do with them is put them in the microwave and just watch them be destroyed.
This podcast has been sponsored by Peeps.
Apparently they originate from Pennsylvania, and the factory there makes an impressive 5.5 million a day. It says try dipping yours in melting chocolate this year for an even tastier treat.
There you go. That would improve it. I guarantee you.
Try dipping them in the waste disposal.
Apparently, in 1953, it would take 27 hours to make one Peep. Presumably, they were doing many of them, but they weren't just taking 27 hours per Peep. But
they have to set. When they come fresh out, they're way too sticky and they can lose their shape. So once they get squirted out, they have to sit for a long time.
They were made back in 1953. They were handmade with a pastry tube, but apparently now it only takes 6 minutes to make one Peep, and it's using a unique machine called the depositor. It sounds like a baddie Doctor Who, but
it's a Batman villain, isn't it? He goes into banks and puts in fake money.
Shove this away. You don't know, Batman.
So I'm curious now. Do they have these things over there?
I'm not aware of Peeps, but
okay.
Poops, you heard of? They take about 23 hours.
They don't sell Peeps at your supermarket, as far as you know, do they, Lisa?
No, not even in a very small American section.
You do have an American section.
We have an American section and a Polish section. We have Lucky Charms, I think, or something. And
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, it's all terribly expensive because it's had to be imported. So, yeah.
Apparently, more than 1.5 million Cadbury's cream eggs are made every day. And
wait a minute. What did you say? Cabbage?
No, Cadbury. That's the make of that's the name.
1.5 million cabbages are made every day.
Gotcha.
And apparently, Americans consume over 16 million jelly beans during Easter. I didn't know jelly beans had a particular Easter connection.
Yeah.
Just two Americans do that, though.
It used to be jelly beans were only available at Easter, but now they're they're all year long. You can get jelly beans.
And apparently 90 million chocolate bunnies are sold for Easter in America. And
you want to get the ones that are solid, not hollow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. They must have done a poll. They must have done a poll about this. Apparently, a surprising. I don't know. Why is it surprising? I don't know. A surprising 59% of people eat the ears of the bunny first.
Yeah, that makes sense because they're the most biteable.
Yeah,
you got to start somewhere.
But what I
thickest chocolate in the ears, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess when it's an egg, I just hit it until it fell into bits. But
savage hooligan.
I suppose you have to eat it from the head down because if you eat it from the feet up, there's the possibility that the head might start screaming. Don't have nightmares.
Apparently pretzels used to be associated with Easter as well.
What? Since when? Not around here.
No.
Pretzels is something that my wife loves and I hate. I must admit.
Apparently, it's because of the twists of the salty treat resembling arms crossed in prayer. That's how the connection is. But
I've never seen that one before.
You're making this up.
Well, this website might be.
How many arms do you need to make the shape of a pretzel? More than two, surely.
I'm not sure.
I can't make a pretzel shape with only two arms. I don't know about you.
I think it's like that, isn't it?
All right, okay.
Because it's the bit in the middle.
Yeah, but they've got round bits at the side.
Well, that's not included. It's the bit in the middle.
Okay, right.
Toby, what do you know about the White House Easter egg roll?
Well, it's just been a long tradition at the White House where people are invited. Actually, I think if you get in line like a week before, if you, I don't know if you need an invitation. I mean, a long time ago it started, you would just show up with your kids, and the kids would, I guess, hunt for eggs, and then once you had your eggs, for some reason it was amusing to roll them. I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't, if I've got my egg, I don't want to be throwing it on the floor and somebody else might grab it. I think that's very dangerous.
Well, it was all outside.
Yeah, I know. Somebody could grab them, or a fox could leap on them, or giraffe or something.
Yeah, you're putting their lives on the line.
Apparently, it's a tradition that started in 1878 by President Rutherford B. Hayes. I've never heard of that president.
Oh, B. Hayes.
Oh, B. Hayes.
Oh, B. Hayes.
He was the one. The other thing is that eggs roll in a circle, don't they? That's the reason they're that shape, so they don't fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
Right. We need to go back to have one last flashback.
I'm still trying to pitch a series with Annika Rice called The Depositor. I don't know. See that?
So, Nick, please choose a year between 2016 and 2023.
Is it we're checking? What are we doing? You want me to tell me what you?
No, I want you to choose it. I want you to choose. No, I want you to choose a year between 2016 and 2023.
2021.
Okay, and Toppy, would you choose a month?
April.
And I'll say middle of April, and that we'll see. So I guess the 13th is sort of the middle. We have episode 425, Yeti Uncle John Magpie Fancier.
Andy all over again.
This is where the magpie love started, or the love of magpies started with Yeti Uncle John wanting to do pigeon fancying, but that was far too simple. He had to do magpie fancying instead. And now
chasing Tony Bastable.
Yeah. Now 2 years later, he's a proud. I can't say the proud father of 6 baby magpies. He's not the actual father. He's probably the foster father or something, grandfather. I don't know, but so or at least, I mean, it's one of the few things that he's done that he hasn't just given up with after about 2 or 3 months. So, I mean, he actually lives part-time in that magpie hut. It's one of the few things I can say I'm relatively proud of about with him. So let's listen to a clip 425.
Hi guys, how are you?
Not too bad, Ick.
It's amazing how you can wear these masks. It doesn't sound like you're wearing a mask.
I said that before when we've been in Victoria Station recording our trivia sections. It doesn't really sound like we're wearing a mask. That's one good thing, I suppose.
Yes, oh golly.
Where's Yeti Uncle John?
I'm not sure. I think he's getting the birds ready.
Do we know what sort of birds he's got yet?
No, Paul, not at all. No. Gosh. It worries me.
Worries me too, Ick. Oh, here are the others. Cromitty and Martin.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Ick. Where's your Uncle John?
We were just saying we don't know. We expect him to arrive any minute. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, I think it's him. He's coming now. Look, the door is opening. Hello, guys. Thank you for coming. I want to introduce you to my new birds. Yes. I'm yet to think of a sort of proper name for what I do. But I like to think of myself as the ringleader, like a ringleader, but a sort of, I don't know, like in a circus. I don't like to think of myself as, you don't want to call yourself a pigeon fancier. Is that right? No, I don't. The whole fancying thing, I think it's a bit strange, that term. Makes it sound like I'm trying to court them or something. I don't fancy my feathered colleagues. Feathered colleagues? You really are keeping this as a mystery. Yeti Uncle John, what have you decided? Tell us about your feathered colleagues. Is it pigeons?
Is it vultures?
Yeti Uncle John, is it emu?
What about phoenixes?
No. You've been taking the mickey out of me long enough, and I've stuck to my original plan. And I will be working with a group. I'm not sure what the technical term is, but I'm working with some unique birds. Yes. Have you seen that show, The Masked Singer? The Masked Singer. Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't watched it. Yes, well, the birds that you will see in a minute, they're all wearing masks. Not masks like we all are now, but like theatrical masks. And they will be singing to you. They will be doing some acrobatic displays. Then they will be flying across the county to pick up some shiny objects. Okay. Shiny objects. Yes, Paul. Yes, it's all part of my plan. Is it now? So when you say shiny objects, are we talking magpies here? Well, yes, we're talking magpies, as was my original plan. Okay. But anyway, I need to go and get them ready, and you can come and step outside and see them in just in a minute or two. Right. Oh dear, Paul, this does not seem right. This seems like one of Yeti Uncle John's dodgy plans. You're not wrong, Cromitty, you're not wrong. So, he's got this gang of magpies, known for their notoriously rough behaviour, according to Dealey. Oh yes, poor Dealey.
It's dreadful.
Yes. So he's probably recruited these magpies from the trees around the flat, probably the same magpies that bullied Dealey that time. He's getting them to wear masks, like the Masked Singer, but to me it sounds like he's giving them that for disguise. And then he's going to get them to sing or distract us, but then he's going to get them to fly off and come back with shiny objects.
Paul, what is it?
I'm thinking.
Oh, yes. I can see the smoke coming out your ears.
Oh dear, Paul, what's going on? I'm probably thinking the wrong thing, but it sounds to me, or at least I think there's the potential that Yeti Uncle John might be teaching his magpies to steal. I mean, he's never done openly criminal activities before, but, well, I mean, if he's training the birds to do stuff, then he could probably get away with saying, oh, it was nothing to do with me. Am I thinking bad of him? Oh, Paul, I really don't think he'd be doing that.
I don't know, Cromitty. It doesn't sound so unlikely to me. What do you think, Martin?
Well, I wouldn't like to think of him, but it's a possibility, particularly with magpies. That would explain why he's, so insistent about working with magpies. I mean, they're known for thieving.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, Paul. Yeti Uncle John has plans to train his magpies to steal for him. Well, it does sound rather like that. Oh my goodness, he's excelled himself this time.
I wouldn't say he excelled himself. I would say this is the worst plan he's ever had.
Oh, I just feel awful even thinking it, but please don't say anything to him. Oh, here he comes.
Of course you won't, Paul.
No, of course not.
Of course not, Paul. Here he comes. Here he comes. Hello, guys. If you'd like to come out with me now, I will show you my display of birds. I'm not sure they're going to be singing today, actually. They may make a few cawing noises, sort of birdie, anyway. But they're all dressed up. I've got them all dressed up, and they'll do a little display for you. And, come with me. Yes, of course. I'm surprised how well you've got this hut all sorted out. I thought it would be a lot more ramshackle inside. Yes, actually didn't need, that much work done to it.
I did help him a bit.
Yes, Ick may have used alien technology to help clean up this shed.
I very well did.
Oh, you giddy Uncle John.
So Ick worked his magic, eh?
Yes. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Listeners, here we are. We've got the birds in front of us. They look wonderful, yes. What wonderful costumes. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, giddy Uncle John. 13, it's an unlucky number.
Yes, very unlucky.
Oh, well, I got a dozen, but it was a sort of buy one get one free situation. Oh dear. Well, I guess we needn't fixate on the number of magpies that we've got for your display, but we'll hand it over to you. Thank you. Yes. So birds, if you're ready. They're going to do a sort of little display that I taught them. Yeah, great, okay. Yes. Birds, if you'd like to start now. Yes.
There we go.
Yes, up into the sky. Wow, it's amazing that they're doing a display.
Wow, you've done this really quickly, Uncle John. How did you teach them so many tricks so quickly?
Well, I'll have to admit that they did come partially trained. In fact, this was something that they already did before. I can't take all the credit, or any of the credit, yes, but I was very lucky. I did get a good price for them. Yes, well, I don't know that I'm fully behind all this. But I guess you know what you're doing, and I guess, you wouldn't have them if you weren't allowed to have them. I got them from a dealer, a legitimate dealer. All right. Well, they're doing a wonderful display. Maybe you'll get them to sing next time. Yes, I'm not quite sure what a magpie sounds like when it sings. They're quite noisy birds, aren't they? Sort of making a noise is what you associate with magpies, not really singing a song, but I guess they must do. Yeah, gosh. If Uncle John, it's getting a bit cloudy over there. I think it's going to rain or something. Maybe even thunder. There really are black clouds. Yes, Uncle John, maybe you should get them in.
Yes, I think that possibly we're going to get soaked if we stay there much longer.
Oh, yeah. Maybe call them in, Uncle John?
Yes, I'll call them in. Yeah. What's wrong? Nothing. Yeah. It's Uncle John. Something's wrong. What is it? You see, I did the bit where they go up and they go out to do their display. I haven't actually practiced calling them back in again. I thought they'd just kind of finish when they were done, if you know what I mean.
Whereas it seems like they're just doing the same display, and continuously.
Yes, you could be right.
Oh dear. So you don't know how to call them back?
Well, I know in theory how to call them back, so I'll just go do that. I'm sure it'll be fine. Magpies, come back down again. Come home. Come home. Oh, blimey, what's going on? I hope it'll work.
They do seem to have stopped doing the formation.
Oh, yes. I'm sure they'll come back in a minute.
I don't know, something's a bit odd.
Yeah, they're kind of hovering above Yeti Uncle John. They're making quite a noise.
I would like to look at this.
Come in, magpies. Come in, my birds. Come home. Come home. Why are you staring at me like that? Please, what's going on? Oh, please, oh no, stop it. Oh, dear, oh, ow. Oh, dear, oh, ouch. Get off. Oh, ouch. Oh, ow. Oh, no, get off. Oh, you're tickling. Oh, no, ouch. Oh, ow.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, gosh, I think we're going to have to help him. Come on, everybody. Let's go and help him. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh, no, oh, dear. Oh, you get John. Oh, no.
Oh, this is a mistake.
Okie dokie. Well, talking of Yeti Uncle John, I was just saying, Yeti Uncle John, we're very proud of you. Thank you very much, Paul. What's it about the magpies? Well, yes, randomly we selected an episode which is one of the first involving you and the magpies. Oh, 2 years ago, did you say? Well, pretty much, yes. Yeah. Well, Yeti Uncle John, we are running out of time, but before we go, I know you wanted to present some of those would you rather questions that have been so popular of late. I would do, yes. I want to ask the gang here, the Chatterbox gang, would you rather? And I want to know what you would rather. Would you rather? Okay, that's very clear. Yes, I thought so. The first question I'm going to have is, would you rather always have to travel by hippo or by kangaroo? Lisa.
By hippo, because it would be smoother, I think.
What would be smoother?
Well,
the ride?
Yeah, because a kangaroo would hop and you'd be bouncing up and down all the time, where a hippopotamus would just lumber.
Okay.
That's fair enough. What about you, Toppy?
Oh, I picked the hippo too. Yeah, much too jarring to bounce around.
You wouldn't try and fit in the little pocket at the front?
Oh, no, I didn't think of that. Okay, if I'm in the pocket, that sounds nice and cozy.
Okay. Martin, which would you prefer?
I just wouldn't travel.
Yeah.
You'd just stay at home.
Yep.
And Mr. Nick?
Well, kangaroo for two reasons. One is I'm still bereft of my space hopper 45 years after its demise. And so I was born to bounce. And the other thing is I was a great big fan of Skippy when I was a kid. So I feel it giving back to society or something.
Now, Skippy Peanut Butter, you mean?
No, Skippy the Bush Kangaroo, the Australian drama show. At least I think it was drama. My 6-year-old self seemed to think it was drama. So it's a little boyhood hero of owning a kangaroo. And I'd be up for that.
Okay.
Mr. Trowbridge, what was about you?
Well, if I could install some sort of counterweight hammock mechanism inside the kangaroo's pouch, I'd go for the kangaroo. A, because I could just fall asleep, and B, because it would counter the problem that I used to have when I travelled of motion sickness.
And also, Lisa's already got the hippo.
And Lisa, I was going to say, Lisa's already nicked the hippo. She's halfway up the road, isn't she?
Wow.
Blundering into houses.
I think the kangaroo would probably overtake the hippo.
Yeah, so theoretically the kangaroo, but if I could deal with the motion sickness problem, yes.
That sounds fine. What about you, Paul? I think I'd go for the kangaroo. I'm not sure I'd fit in the pocket, but I'd try my best. Yeah, well, it sounds unrealistic, but fair enough. I think you're more hippo-shaped. I think you travel better on the hippo.
I don't know whether it's true, and I might Google it later, but I have a vague feeling in the back of my head that the inside of a kangaroo's pouch is actually quite sticky. I I don't know where I got that fact from.
It's probably where it keeps
sticky jelly.
Probably where it keeps its chocolate Easter eggs. And they melted along the way.
I will look that up later, though. We can put that in the show notes. Just Google, is the inside of a kangaroo sticky?
Well, the inside of the kangaroo sticky.
What?
The inside of the kangaroo sticky, isn't it? That's fine. I just said the actual inside of the kangaroo will be sticky.
Well, the pouch, not the insides
you
of the
did specify
kangaroo.
that,
I assume
so.
the insides of a kangaroo are quite sticky in the same way that the insides of me are quite sticky.
Okay.
Yeti Uncle John, I think you might get two more questions in before the end of the episode if you hurry. All right. Would you rather live in a world where robots or aliens ruled the world?
It depends who the aliens are, doesn't it? Doesn't it depend who the aliens are? If they're, because if it was the Daleks, then no. But if they're nice aliens, then maybe.
Well, the problem is that if you've got an alien ruling the world, and they don't breathe oxygen and nitrogen, for example,
that would be.
They might have to fill the world with noxious gases to survive, and I think we get enough noxious gases around here as it is, frankly.
Yeah. Maybe we should go for robots.
So I'd go for robots every time. Yes.
What about alien robots? They could be one of the.
Oh.
Now you're asking for it.
Now you're being tricksy.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? Aliens or robots?
Robots. If they were hostile, I could totter around like Woody Allen did in that film last night.
Oh, Sleeper, yeah.
Tend to be a robot.
You tend to be a robot, yeah. And that was the funny bit where he ended up being sent back to the robot factory, and they wanted to. They were going, "Oh, can you replace the head?" Yeah. And he's sitting there watching all the other robots have their heads taken off, and then he tries to totter out of the factory. Like,
so I'm a soft spot for robots. Robots. Yeah.
I did dress up as a robot in 1977 for the Queen's Silver Jubilee, and won second prize.
I dressed up as a robot on Sutton Park, but my costume was made by Mr. Lee Freeman, who did me a very, very good robot costume.
My best friend, the same year, made a robot which stood outside his bedroom door, and when they moved to Manchester, he wasn't allowed to take it, so he sort of ninjaed it to death and smashed it to pieces. It was most bizarre, There's this friend of his, and he just kind of kung fu the thing to death.
I get you, Uncle John. Do you have one more question for us? I'll do. Let me just find one that looks good. All right. Don't take too long. Oh, sorry, Paul. Would you
like to swing on a
Would you like to? Would you rather only be able to eat ice cream in the winter or only be able to drink hot chocolate in the summer? That's
I don't quite understand the question.
Yeah, that's my idea of hell. I don't. But
well, you can only eat ice cream when it's cold. A cold thing on a cold, or hot chocolate when it's hot. Which would you rather?
Oh, right.
Not the other way around.
Yikes!
We've done both anyway, so I'd be happy either way. But hot chocolate maybe. I still have hot chocolate sometimes.
You still. I tend to associate hot chocolate with being a bedtime drink, not
exactly.
and it's kind of quite. Like milky and
I don't mind hot chocolate.
You don't not drink coffee or tea in the summer.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, maybe you do, but you don't. And I've definitely eaten ice cream on like Boxing Day before now, like outside even.
Yeah, I went to fancy ice creams on Boxing Day.
I went horse racing with Callum one year, and it was a really nice sunny winter's day, and I went for an ice cream. It would have been rude not to. What about anybody else?
Well, I was brought up in a cold house. All on my own. Now, I was brought up in a cold house, so when it gets hot, I do suffer. So I'd rather go for a bit of a raspberry ripple on a winter's day.
Yeah.
I don't think you really like hot chocolate anyway, do you?
I can't remember the last time I ever had a hot. Well, I have had a hot chocolate at least 3 times I can think of in my life. I can't give you the exact dates, but
I haven't had a hot chocolate for many years.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go for ice cream.
Can your machine produce hot chocolate?
If you put the right thing into it, yeah.
Yeah, you've got one of those podule machines. Yeah. Yeah.
We had hot chocolate last night.
We always have hot chocolate.
It was sort of because we'd been drinking wine, and it was kind of like, now we stopped drinking wine.
Now
we're calming down. It's getting ready for bed, having a hot chocolate. So
with the Tales of the Unexpected.
Yeah, we watched the Tales of the Unexpected. Where a policewoman nearly got murdered. But
is that the one in the park?
Yes.
Sorry.
Decoy. Yeah, the one with Susan Penhaligon.
Toppy, what would you?
You sold me on going with the hot chocolate.
All right. Now we will finish here, but when I did this recently, thanks again, Yeti Uncle John. My pleasure. When we did random questions recently with another guest, we got this question, which I can only imagine is a mistake. Because it says, would you rather receive a guaranteed $250? And that's it. I said, well, yes.
Yes, that would do nicely.
But there's not an either or. It's just, would you rather receive a guaranteed $250? Yes, I would.
From the depositor.
Yeah, it'll be deposited upon me. Dear, oh dear.
It's when you find your soul's been deducted from your bank statement.
Yeah, well, not much left of that after 620 something episodes. Well, I think that's about all we've got time for. So,
all we've got time for, but you can't leave it like that.
Well, would you rather receive a guaranteed $250?
I was trying to do my Basil Brush impression.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you to my guests, to Mr. Martin Holmes, Mr. Nick Goodman, Mr. Toppy Smelly, Mr. Lisa Parker, and Mr. Andrew Trowbridge, and Mr.
Thank you.
And thank you to Cromitty, who nearly killed us all, and Yeti Uncle John, who didn't for once. But, although we still don't know quite how the piranha solution got in the kitchen, but there we go. I think it might just have been a very what's the word? Just a very unsubtle way of bringing up the topic of piranha solution so we could discuss it.
And we must emphasise a massive breach of health and safety.
Yeah, he
said, putting on his chemistry head.
It doesn't come in hot chocolate sachets. Don't worry.
Fortunately.
Anyway, well, happy Easter to those who celebrate, and happy chocolate eggs to those who don't, or to those who do. But we'll be back for more chatterboxing. Probably some sort of summer special, I imagine. But
and also, audience, don't buy your children real live chicks or bunnies.
No,
just
don't take a ride in a sticky kangaroo's pocket either.
Watch out for the depositor.
Yes. Okay, we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll be back again soon. Okay. Bye.
Take care.
I'm terribly sorry, everybody. It wasn't really Piranha's solution. I just received an email that I had to mention it so that it could be discussed. I think I perhaps went about it the wrong way.
You sound a little bit Indian.
It's the weather. It's because I was gargling with Piranha's solution. But I'm sorry.
You'll be needing new teeth if you do that.
Well, it's because you showed me those videos of what you could do with Piranha Solution. I thought it needed to be brought up in the show, but
I can tell you what to do.
That it will be brought up.
Everything. Sorry, Toppy.
I just said I can tell you what to do with it. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. I think the best bit of the episode was the Would You Rather. I think. So shut up, Yeti, Uncle John. It's not very nice. I think the best bit was when you weren't in the room. Oh, charming. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
I thought you were talking to me then.
No, not you, me. Oh, dear, oh, he's just being rude. Well, I'm terribly sorry. And nobody's listened to this bit of the episode because it's after the end theme music. So
yeah, it's the end.
The end.
I gotta go now. Bye. Gotta go. Bye.
Goodbye.
It's been good, but yeah, definitely time to come home now.
Wow. Really? No kidding.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
Oh dear. What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast. Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice. We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
So, is there anything else that anybody else wants to? Would you rather receive a guaranteed $250? I don't know.
Or not.
Or not. No, I wouldn't know.
I'd rather have pounds because dollars involves converting it, doesn't it?
That's a question for Toppy. $2 bills are relatively rare, aren't they?
They are. They were issued a long time ago, and then they just plain stopped. And then in the 80s, maybe the 90s, for some reason, they started printing them for a very brief time, and then they stopped. I don't get it. I'm not sure what the deal was. But nobody really felt like we needed a $2 bill.
They must still exist. Is that either?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're. If you can get the early ones, they're, collectible. I mean, people want them.
Well, I definitely have had a $2 bill in my little hot, sticky kangaroo paw. I think probably when I was in Portland, and I think I intended to keep it because I knew it was rare. I don't know if I ever did in the end, or whether it was a case of, I want a hot chocolate, and I've only got my $2 bill. Oh no, you probably would pay more than $2 for a hot chocolate.
Yeah. I have maybe a couple times in my life made a transaction where I received as change a $2 bill, but super rare. Almost never happens.
One thing I never really got the hang of in my American visits was, now is it true? Is it like some states it's the added tax thing that so you see something that's $2 and you've only got $2, but you need to pay more because when you get there they say, the tax isn't added until you. I always found that a little bit sort of. I guess when you live there, you kind of know how much more the tax will be, and you sort of mentally do the calculations before you get to the till. But
yeah, you do kind of. In New York, it used to be 7%. I don't know if it's 9% now, but you do kind of. Without even thinking, if something costs $50, you're going to be paying more than $50. Mm-hmm. Now, food, not taxed.
No.
So if a potato's 25 cents, that's all you pay. But a candy bar, that's taxed.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. And you can move to Florida where they don't tax anything.
I was going to say that I knew there was. Is it just Florida, or is it I got the feeling that perhaps in Oregon they didn't do it either, but maybe
possibly. Yeah, there's more. There's more states than Florida, but that's the one that always comes to mind. They get enough money from other sources. They don't need it, and it becomes a selling point because that is a reason people move to Florida. No sales tax.
Mm. The main shop I remember going into in Portland was the famous Powell's bookshop, where I went in there and spent far too much money. But because Powell's, I guess they might sell new books, but they also sell good condition secondhand books. And I still sort of do collect different versions of Armistead Maupin's Tales of the City, and found some nice different versions in Powell's.
Used bookstores are disappearing here. It's very sad.
Yeah, but I didn't buy any Peeps.
No, you haven't missed nothing.
Okie dokie.
Bye again. That was the end. And
that was the second end.
Delightful anecdote we ended on there.
Oh, Martha Cat's come to visit now. Hello, Martha. Don't press any buttons.
Hello, Martha. Hello.
She's sitting on Lisa at the moment. So.
Well, she stood on me, actually. What are you going to do? You're going to be out for Uncle Paul?
No, she's not going to speak.
Not going to speak because she's on to be heard.
Getting microphone shyness now.
Oh, I think that was a wonderful episode, don't you, Toppy?
I sure do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! What was that? Was that 2 hours? It was at least 4 hours. How long was this podcast? I don't know. It was at least 5 hours.
Paul, that was a whopper.
630. Gee whiz, the way Paul Chandler, the Shy Yeti, travels around gives me a rash.
This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.